Hey my mandible mates and soul Sheilas, my name is Dot from Dot and the Bunny and today I am going to Pokemon Center Tokyo. When I get to Pokemon Center Tokyo there will be the traditional long fucking line consisting of Japanese businessmen and women, with their loudmouth shitcorns of Pokemon fans, 20-some-year-old nerds who still watch Pokemon despite its age range, big red-lipped niggers fresh from Shinjuku, Chinese chinkies who want a part in the merchandising rights, Pokemon knockoff business rivals who are here to spy on the latest product so that they can up the ante in advance, more kids, more 20-some-year-old nerds, more Shinjuku niggers. And Mexicans here with their stacks of job applications. Hey, work is work to these people. Anyways, after waiting for what seems like waiting for Yorm Gross to make some more dot films so that there can be more dots to go around in the Speakonia community, but only amounts to negative 0.0 seconds, I start to pedal pleasure everyone in this line like seriously, how fucking awesome would it be to have more dot films in this day and age? Fillet of soul, one could come up with a good idea for a dot film right off the top of his head. Here we go. Dot and the panda. Dot helps a sad panda escape from a zoo and help him get back to China. Dot and Nessie. Dot travels to Scotland and befriends the Loch Ness monster. Dot on the farm. Dot helps a lonely farmer protect his animals from a gang of foxes. Dot and the alien. Papa Drop comes comes to Earth to seek revenge on Dot for overthrowing his empire. See, that was all thought up right off the bat. So many possibilities gone to waste. And it's all in the middle of a script for a goes to video. Oh sweet Lilith, this fourth wall shattering foot session has gone on long enough now to rub all your glands with my feet. Time to cover my pancakes with your love. Syrup bag, that was swell. Next I will head into the establishment and see a bunch of Pokemon merchandise, such as dolls, action figures, trading cards, and since Pokemon are animals I will get so fucking horny staring at their sexy feet, and then I take all the dolls, as if they were real Pokemon, and start giving them foot rubs like and then I'll give them a soul scrub like bag. That was swell, and just then one of the store workers will come up to me and say, "Excuse me young lady, but what are you doing to our dolls?" And I say I was just giving them a foot massage and then pleasuring them with my own sweet pedalage. She will call me a sick fuck and try to escort me from the store, but I just use my more than average superhuman podophilic strength and pin the bitch down with my feet and then rip her shoes off and start giving her a foot massage, like and while this is happening another employee will come up to me and say, "What are you doing? It's against store policy to pleasure our workers, you sick fuck." You just said the magic word, buddy. Now to give you something that would be considered against store policy, using the novelty Pokeballs as Tilda's. Oh my god, your pee penis is really sweaty. Makes for great pedal loop. It's getting as red as a kangaroo. Now top me off, you stud bag. That was swell. Finally, I will head to the checkout line and I will see a woman looking through her wallet, and I will notice that said woman is wearing sandals, and just seeing that form of pedal perfection behind those sandals makes my nipple go hard and my giant go wet, and I yank her sandals off and start massaging her sexy feet like there's no tomorrow, like the bottoms of your feet feel like mushroom caps, so fucking smooth. And one of the employees will say, little girl, you can't do that in the checkout area. Wrong answer, bitch. I'm a member of Team Tycoon, which means I'll massage whoever's feet I want at any time. Just like I'm doing right now, massaging both your feet and the previously mentioned possible MILF I massaged earlier. Just then the manager will step out of his office and ask what the fuck is going on here. And he will see all the carnage I have caused and call me a sick fuck, and then I blow blow my whistle and my pedals from Team Tycoon. Ash Ketchum, Ulrich the Stepper's turn, and Lumba Loafer Lolicon will appear out of nowhere, and we gang up on the manager and say we'll show you the true definition of a sick fuck, and then we pin him down, take off our shoes, and we fuck and fuck and fuck. Like my bunion brother Ash always says, got a pleasure and all. Give us a static soul scrub shop treatment lump. Oh, the wonderful pain. Best friends, Pokemon and me, we are friends. Oh sweet Lilith, why did I make a dot and the smuggler's reference? Oh well, the fourth wall is already damaged beyond belief. One more time won't hurt. Now to rub your cock with our feet and vice versa. Get ready to fill our pouches with love juice. Bag. That was swell. Lolly, this all sounds so mega. Stomp make you a foot fiend in half a microsecond. Fair dinkum bonds as well. I think I'll go to Pokemon Center Tokyo right now. Bye bye.